I hope this is straight. What's up, guys? We are back for another gym vlog. We are hitting upper body. We are also going to talk about what you should do if you have fallen off track from your fitness goals. And 80% of people have actually fallen off track since New Year's. So if this is you, you are not alone. Just for anyone who struggles with mind-muscle connection, compensations, working with overactive, underactive muscles, it wasn't until the end of all of that that I even felt what I was supposed to do. It's normal. It's annoying and it's frustrating, and honestly the biggest thing is working around like the self-talk when you can't connect with those things, because then that sometimes can make you feel like something is wrong with you, or like make you feel like you want to give up.
But it takes time and patience.
Yes, and this is Brian.
Consistency.
This is Brian. He is also a coach. It's just me and Brian. We're Flex Club. I started Flex Club like 8 years ago. I've been a personal trainer for 10, but Flex Club became my coaching company when I thought that I was going to be a bodybuilding coach, and then bodybuilding drastically f***ed me up. And I got into powerlifting and got really empowered with strength training instead. And now we're here, and Brian's a coach with us too. Okay, we are going to talk about what to do if you have fallen off track with your fitness goals by February. If this is you, seriously, you are not alone. About 80% of people fall off track with their fitness goals. Not even by February, by I think January 19th is the official date, and you're starting to feel frustrated because it's still in your mind, but you're not really sure how to move forward. There's mindset, and there's planning, and there's organization, and with just a few simple fixes, and honestly, just these 5 things we're gonna go over today, I truly believe, and I really hope if you guys apply it, it will make a difference in your fitness journeys this year. So seriously, if you're watching this, if you're feeling discouraged, try this, truly, it will make a difference. I've been there too. Like, I have fallen off my fitness goals so many dang times. But that brings us kind of into our first tip, which is being kind to yourself, because this is normal. The majority of people seriously struggle with this. Just recognizing that this is not just you and you're not alone in this can help us just not beat ourselves up over it as much. Doing that really just kind of hinders our ability to move forward. We're talking about the first step, actually. Come in here. Why would you say it's important?
From my experience, that causes you to spiral. You just dig yourself into
a trick I do to help myself be nicer to myself, because I personally am not very kind to myself in my head. Like, and a lot of us can relate to that. Brian can relate to that. Like, it is sometimes a battle, and it's kind of the reason we like the gym in the first place, because it helps us get out those demons and feel good while we do it. But a trick that I use just might be my own personal philosophy. It may help you, it may not, but what I do is I zone out from Earth. Like, I visually zone out from Earth, and I look at Earth, and then I look at space, and I look at, like, you know when they zone out in those videos on Facebook? That's what I do, and I realize, holy shit, we are on a floating rock in space. The fact that I have fallen off from my goals since January really isn't a big deal in the grand scheme of things. What matters is that you feel good and you get on track with the life that you want to live while you are on this floating rock in space. So if you are really struggling with being kind to yourself, kind of, if that philosophy works, it also might not work for some people. Take that with a grain of salt, but that's what I do, and that helps me be kinder to yourself. But if you have other methods, there's a lot of other ways to be kinder to yourself in this process. Okay, let's get into the rest of the workout. So the second thing is to let go of the idea of being perfect. This might not apply to all people, but I think it applies to a lot of people. I was someone who also really struggled with this when it came to mindset around binge eating and overeating and following the plan. This all or nothing mindset kind of comes with perfectionism, where if we think that we aren't perfect, we're not progressing. And the truth is, you cannot be perfect on this journey. If I could tell you the amount of times I have stumbled and fell over and over and over, the amount of time. When I first got into fitness, like my first 3-4 years in fitness, I've been lifting for over 12 years now, but the truth is, like, I have stumbled and fell so many dang times. I competed in a bikini competition. I was really struggling with a lot of darkness, and it was like, yeah, we don't have to get into it, but I was struggling with a lot of darkness. I developed binge eating disorder and then competed in a bikini competition and placed dead last. And honestly, I'm so glad I went through that experience, but that's embarrassing. That feels like a massive failure. And I was a personal trainer at the time too, and feeling like you placed last and feeling like you're getting worse rather than better, it can be really hard for your confidence. And so even like as a trainer myself, but also like as a human, you know, these struggles are so real. Now I hold records in powerlifting. I help a lot of people with these same struggles, but this isn't an ad. Like, genuinely, I hope these videos, I mean, if you guys do want coaching, we would love that. But like, genuinely, like, we do hope these videos can provide true help if you are struggling, because at the end of the day, like, access to real helpful information that isn't just a money grab is so hard nowadays. Of course, I'm a coach. Of course, you're going to see us promoting our coaching because this is our small business and our living. But at the end of the day, we also really want to help you guys. So back to the topic. Let go of that idea of being perfect. It's impossible to be perfect. Everyone fails. Everyone fails. And the thing is too, like, you have to really give yourself time to get used to the habits that you are trying to implement. If you are already used to those habits and it was already easy to implement, you would already be implementing it. So you can't just go from where you are now to where you want to be. You have to kind of take these gradual steps. So let's say, for example, you want to get more protein in. Let's say that you are currently eating 60 grams of protein and your goal is 100 grams of protein, and you feel like you have to be perfect and hit that 100 grams of protein like right away, and then you start spiraling because you try to hit that goal and you can't meet it because it's really damn hard, and you're like, how the hell am I going to do this? You have to kind of give yourself time to build up to that 100 grams of protein, right? The way you do that is by adding 10 grams of protein, getting used to that, getting comfortable with that, getting through those learning curves. Each little phase is going to have a different learning curve. So when you get to 60 grams, you're going to have new learning curves. Get through those, understand how to navigate those learning curves, then you've reached the next level. Imagine this is a video game. Now you're at 70 grams. Get through those learning curves. They will come with new learning curves. I don't think people give themselves the time to really get through those learning curves before they progress. It's going to be harder at each phase if you don't give yourself time to learn what you need to here. It's going to be so much easier if you do give yourself that time, and not enough people do. And a lot of people try to rush their progress, and it's something to really just honestly be careful of. And if you're someone like me too, who like really spirals in their head, because I really spiral in my head, if that's you, try to slow yourself down, because that negative self-talk can make you kind of like question yourself all the time. When you question yourself, you hold yourself back, you stop and start again, you It's like a cycle, and I don't think I've shown enough on social media how much I've been through that cycle. It's something that I have struggled with for probably half of my 20s. So it's not all or nothing. You don't have to be perfect. You can't be perfect. It's impossible to be perfect. So just focus on getting 1% better every single day. You also have to recognize that there's going to be days when it feels like you're not getting 1% better, you're getting 1% worse, and this is just shit, and then you have to pay attention to that self-talk again. So recognize that one step back happens also. It's not really one step back, you know what it is? It's a learning curve, and it makes us stronger, so that's how you can think of it. I'm gonna start cooling down if I sit here for too much longer, so let me get into my next exercise. Why would you be there? Why would you? We are going to move into some more practical tips now that we have talked about the mindset and just the mental battles that this type of struggle comes with. So what you're going to do is you are going to get clear on these questions, and there are 5 questions that you really want to make sure you have very clear answers to. The first question is, what is your exact goal? So you should be able to tell me if you want to lose weight or wanted to lose weight, how much weight did you want to lose? What did your goal look like? If you want to gain strength or gain muscle, how much? What does that look like to you? That helps you to get very specific and clear so that you have direction to aim for. The second question is, how and when are you going to measure your progress? Because you need to know whether you are on the right path or not, and this really just helps you get closer to your goal more efficiently. Third question is, when do you want to achieve this goal? So this gives you sort of a reference point on how much progress you should be achieving each week so that you know if you're on track. A lot of times people will fall off track because they know they have a goal. They see, oh, okay, I lost weight this week, or okay, I gained muscle this week. Okay, I didn't gain muscle this week. Oh, okay, I didn't lose weight this week. You kind of just see like pluses and minuses and think, okay, we're doing good. Oh, okay, we're not doing good. But we really do need those reference points of how much. So this helps us decide whether we're on track in a more detailed way rather than just like, okay, we're doing good, okay, we're doing bad, because that's not as valuable. The fourth question you're going to ask yourself, is this something that I'm actually confident that I can achieve? And the reason that this is important is because a lot of times we can set goals that are more of a want or a wish, which is totally fine, but this can sometimes hinder our confidence if we set all of these massive wants or wishes that aren't really realistic for right now. Knowing that is really important because you don't want to beat yourself up. And the fifth question is, why is this goal important to me? And the reason this is important is because we as human beings really need to understand our purpose and our intention, and doing things that you value fills you more with purpose. So find goals that are actually something that you can value, and make sure you're also not talking yourself out of thinking that it's not a value when things get hard, because that's something I do. So when you're in a calm state, decide whether this is a goal that really helps you in your values, and whenever the obstacles come, don't talk yourself out of that reminder that this is something that you do want. have a couple more tips, 2 more tips. The next tip is to take small action steps forward. The reason for this is because each phase of your small action steps are going to require different skill sets. And I kind of talked about this a little bit earlier in the video too. It's really important that you build up those skill sets at that phase so that you're not feeling overwhelmed by all of the change that's going to occur.
The way that this can look, say you want to walk more, you want to do like a 5-minute walk after dinner or something, you want to get into weight training, so you do it like once a week or twice a week or something like that. You just starting really small.
If your goal is, I want to strength train 5 times per week, you want to start gradual. Like, don't start with 5 times per week. Start with like the 1 time per week.
You know, then you'll end up not adhering to that pretty quickly because like you don't know how to sustain doing a lot of that for a longer time, you know what I mean?
Yes. And maybe your goal isn't lifting. Maybe you're like, I need to get more veggies in. Well, let's say that you know you want to eat a cup of veggies per meal. So let's say you have 3 main meals per day and you want to get in more veggies. Getting in a cup of veggies per meal is actually really hard if you don't eat a lot of veggies. Brian could tell you. What you could do in that instance, just to give other perspectives, is you could do gradual progress through half a cup of veggies as a goal per meal. But that also still might be too much for a lot of people. Some people need to say, I need a cup of veggies spread out throughout the day, because that might be way more than what they're already getting. So you just really have to see where you're starting at and then look at where your goal is. Don't just look at the goal and be like, here's what I need to do to get there. You have to look at where you're at as well as your reference point. Okay, that was an aggressive clap. Our 5th tip is to find an accountability buddy who has similar goals as you. Don't just find like a general accountability buddy. Like, I know my mom can check in on me, but my mom loves me either way, which we do want people who love us either way, but maybe your mom doesn't really care as much about your goals, so she'll say, yeah, I'll hold you accountable, but not really hold you accountable.
You're your mom's accountability buddy.
Yeah, my mom's accountability buddy. My mom actually made a crazy transformation. But you want to find people who have really similar goals as you to hold you accountable. The reason why it's important to find people with similar goals as you is because you guys are going to have the same amount of passion towards that goal. You guys are going to be able to relate to each other's struggles more. You'll be able to motivate each other more. So I think a lot of people also struggle with that aspect. Maybe they don't have a lot of friends that have similar goals. Like, honestly, a lot of our friends a lot of Brian's friends are into fitness, but a lot of my friends are like totally not into fitness. Like, I could relate to that. I don't have a lot of friends who care as much about fitness. So you want to really make sure you find your own community, like whether it be an online community, there's free Facebook groups where you can find friends and you guys can motivate each other. Online friendships really do count, and there's a lot of groups. There's online forums, like people use Reddit. You could also make friends at the gym. Brian and I are accountability buddies. You could find yourself a real cute...
Yeah, I always make friends at the gym.
So yeah, find yourself an accountability buddy that is just as invested in the goal as you are, and it will make such a difference. But that is going to be it for this video, guys. Alright, stay strong, friends. Bye, guys.